Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Your two favourite hosts,
Imian.
Joel, and me, obviously, we're back with Dan. We're back with a different episode. Hope you guys are going to enjoy this. Get me? So, what's the topic about today?
Today's about people treading on people without understanding the role they play in the house and how it can affect the house, but also affect the person. I believe in this life, people try to find themselves, try to find their purpose. Some people have different meanings to what their purpose is. And sometimes people tend to close themselves in and not understand that you can affect people within your daily life if you don't really know how to walk and how to project yourself in this life. So yeah, that's the topic that we're going to be talking about today, and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy.
Today we're going to be talking about treading on people without understanding the roles they play in the house and how it can affect the house. For everyone plays a role in the house, whether they're young or old. Do you understand? Yeah. Everyone in the house has their own relationship with their parents. Do you understand? Depending on the role they play. Do you understand? One person might be for the money. Do you understand? They have their own relationship. One might be the person for the loving. Do you understand? Everyone's got a different role. Do you understand what I'm saying? For everyone in the house is unique in their own way. Do you understand what I'm saying? God uses us to have our own style, our own approach. You understand? It's how we're going to cope in the world. But also, the approaches that He's given us for is to attract people to His promises and His purposes. But one thing we kind of tend to do is kind of push away from that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And use the purposes in a different way, how to project, how to cope within our own life.
Yeah.
How we're going to attract for our own will.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? For the ones that are aware of their role, do you understand what I'm saying? Then they'll be in line. But the ones that are still growing and still kind of sleeping, like later on, they'll get there. Do you understand?
But obviously, right now they haven't got there. They still have to experience. They still have to experience life.
Yeah.
You know, there's still certain aspects that they haven't reached yet.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe their older siblings, you know, they're more experienced in life. So that's why, hence why, when it comes to obviously roles and responsibilities that our parents give to us, they give it to us accordingly to how they see us.
Yeah.
They see our strengths and weaknesses, like you said, in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the kids might be good when it comes to finance. The other one might be good when it comes to maybe discipline as well.
Yeah,
when it comes to discipline, you're coming from.
At the end of the day, it's like it doesn't mean nothing, because at the end of the day, like life comes with tackles, with obstacles.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it doesn't mean that the older sibling will always be better and he will be more experienced.
No.
Do you understand? Because he might not be fulfilling his purpose that he's meant to give. Do you understand? So it could cause him to stumble. But a younger person might be way 10 times better. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter about the purpose of the person. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Whether they're young or old.
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you understand? So but God makes us all unique in our own ways, for no one is made the same. God makes us all have our own approach and our own style for how we present ourselves in the world through faithful purposes to drag people closer to God's promises, and for the ones who are focused in the world to provide for their own self and provide for their family. I know sometimes in this life we may complain. Do you understand what I'm saying? We may have doubts like, how come this person can't play my role? How comes this one gets more loving than me? Or do you understand what I'm saying?
Or why is all the pressure always on me every single time? You know, why do they not have so much pressure as well? But you just have to understand, obviously, in the day, everyone has, you know, their own responsibilities, and sometimes God and our parents knows why they've given us that role. Now, how is it coming from? If your parents feel like you are a leader, and they see that when it comes to obviously leadership, that you're good at it and you know how to take control, they will give it to you. They might not give it to your other sibling, but it doesn't make you better than the other siblings. Just they know your strengths.
Everybody has their own role for their own purpose.
Exactly. Like everyone's not the same. Everyone has different personalities. So,
and you just might be the best at that role. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you gave someone else to that role, they may not be able to hold on to it. They may not be able to balance. Do you know what I'm saying? It may cause them to fall.
Yeah, definitely. But you have to also appreciate as well the responsibility you're given as well, because it gives you a chance to. It also allows you to obviously become stronger in certain areas as well. So you're coming from when they're giving you that responsibility. Maybe you might have not been good when it comes to certain responsibilities, innit? Or in life, innit? But your parents give you a responsibility now, so it's like, you know what, like you have to learn how to be responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to learn to also learn how to be responsible for your siblings. So
Yeah.
it gives you that experience in that area. So maybe one day, you know, when you have a partner or you have your own kids,
Yeah.
you'll be good in that area when it comes to responsibility, because you've been able to have that experience from what your parents gave you. You're coming from. So it's really important, isn't it? So
it's a team effort in life.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? So as much as this one hasn't got, it's a team effort. Do you understand? You're here to fill the gaps for what someone else can't do.
Exactly.
So never question your position and never question your role. Do you understand? Be slow to anger with each other and try to understand each other. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just because he can't play that way doesn't mean that he's weak or he's slow. It's just, it's not his position to play that. Do you understand? Later on he might grow and learn how to play all of your positions. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
So you should never quick to question, never quick to doubt people or to belittle people.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because you can never know. Like the younger one may be the one to hold everyone together and know all of your positions and take it. Do you know what I'm saying? There's much, because everyone goes their own way in life later on in life. Some people kind of doubt their position, and some people feel like they don't get enough credit, and it feels like they start to feel kind of emotional. Just then, do you understand what I'm saying? So you never know. The younger one could be the one to fill all the positions and never question the role of the position. Do you understand what I'm saying? And obey the structure. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is why we're kind of getting into this this talk, because at the end of the day, it's not, we don't question and doubt the position because of that. It's also when we walk into the world, do you understand? We start to experience new things, we start to see new things. Do you understand? We start to see other people with different chapters in their life, and this is not how they operate. Do you understand? We tend to kind of lose ourselves, do you understand? And make ourselves transparent to the world.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we take in what the world gives us, you know. Like you bump into people that have different structures compared to you, so it's like when you're bumping into people in the world, you need to think of what things are you learning. Do you come from? Are you gonna pick up good habits? You're gonna pick up bad habits, because at the end of the day, the habits that you're picking from the world, you're also gonna bring it back home for your family. You're also gonna bring it back home, and your siblings might begin to pick up on stuff that they might see you have. So it's important that when you step into the world, you meet new people, you have to make sure that you pick up positive things. You don't pick up the negativity. If you don't pick up negative things, you don't pick up bad traits, because that also plays a part as well at home.
100%.
You're coming from whatever you're bringing that to the structure already. That's at home.
Yeah.
You're coming from. So you got to sit down and realize, I've got to be careful with what I pick up.
And attend that, and the thing is that because we have to go outside and we have to go outside to test our abilities. Do you understand what I'm saying? We tend to go outside to get a more of an understanding of life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in the beginning we're kind of guessing for what's happening. Do you know what I'm saying? We're guessing. But sometimes we're not understanding for what we're bringing back. Do you understand? Because we're just, for example, this world is about seeing, hearing, and do you know what I'm saying? What kind of, it's mostly seeing and hearing. I saw, I heard.
Yeah, I saw, I heard, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're just taking back I saw and what I heard.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And not understanding that I saw and I heard is paint a picture in someone's brain.
Yeah.
So sometimes we got to be careful for what we bring back and what we're painting for someone or what we're giving to someone.
Be vigilant.
Yeah.
Be a lot more vigilant. Be aware of the things you come from. Be aware and know what is that person trying to paint. Is that a good image? Is that a bad image?
Yeah.
You just gotta be very careful, because in this world, when we step out of this world, at the end of the day, sometimes our parents are not gonna be with us 24/7. So it's about us learning more about life, learning about, you know, what the world feeds to us.
I feel like, how do I say it? I feel like these kind of doubts start to come to play when you start to have to go through government system, have to go to school, have to learn how to adapt. No matter how much our parents try their hardest to keep us stronger, to keep us solid, and to apply the structure. Yeah. Do you understand? It just doesn't, as much as we try to apply it for our own self, it doesn't fit. Do you understand? Yeah, 100%. Because at the end of the day, everyone's coming from their own ways. Do you understand? Yeah. Everyone's coming from how they feel. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? 100%. As much as the structure keeps you strong, do you understand? It may be too strong for someone else. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Or it might be too weak for someone else. So, yeah, it's one of them ones there. Because like you said, obviously, when we're following like government guidelines and things like that, what the government gives us, it's like when we go to school, we're obviously in a different environment, we meet new people. When you go to work, different environment. When you go to like obviously church and things like that, it's different environment. So it's like in the day you're meeting new people, and it's like when you're meeting new people, it's about what can your brain feed. What can your brain feed in? What's your mindset? Do you come from what you taking in? If your mindset is too vulnerable, you're gonna be open to so much things, and it's gonna be hard for you to even think for yourself.
Yeah, the more you take in, the more you start to lose yourself.
Exactly, you're gonna start losing yourself because your mind is just flowing with so much things. You don't even know what's the right art, what's the wrong art.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing. Because at the end of the day, when you first start life, you kind of just go with the wind and you take for life for how it is. So if someone comes to you, you're just gonna absorb it in and feel happy from that. Do you understand? Not understanding what makes you happy.
No, 100%.
Understand? Because we kind of drifted away and we started to think of our own kind of desires. Do you understand? You gotta understand that our own desires are sometimes is the enemy to life. Do you understand? And what we take in, do you understand, is our own enemy.
How can I say that? Listen, you know, the older we get, we need to find out what is the best structure for ourselves. Where you're coming from. Our parents have given us a structure at home, but when you step out now, it's what structure do you want to follow? What do you think is best for you?
And that's why I feel like where we go off. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where we go off, because at the end of the day we start to try to figure out what is our structure. So we start to imply other people's structure, not understanding that these structures of the world is not a structure that you should be taking in for your own self.
Exactly, because
do you understand what I'm saying?
Our family have given us a structure from when we were young, we're growing up, we're going out to the world. So it's like
it's the nose.
Exactly, we're going out to the world, and it's like you might want to try a different structure. You know what? Like I've seen my friend's structure. Let me try it.
Not understanding the structure of the family.
Exactly, you don't understand the family structure. You're not understanding, is that structure even suitable for you? Yeah. Is it adaptable for you? Like, if you use that structure, what are you getting out of it? Yeah. What are you learning from it?
Sometimes we just forget that, do you know what I'm saying? Not everybody follows the same rules at home. Everyone leaves the house for different reasons.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people might have left the house because they were disobedient to their parents.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Some people didn't understand life and started to take on the bad wills of life.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Had their family, because everyone can make a family.
No, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your will is your will. If you want to make a family, you can make a family.
Yeah.
Some people left the house to fulfill sexual desires. Do you understand? Some people left the house because too much pressure and not understanding their role too much. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Some left the house because maybe, you know, they see their friends leaving the house, they're getting older, they're thinking, you know what, listen, I'm getting older as well, let me leave the house. But when you leave the house now, you're understanding that you're not even financially stable.
Yeah.
You're struggling. And then that's when you start sitting down thinking, no, maybe I should have stayed at home, but it's a bit too late. So it's like the choices that sometimes we make in life, we have to reflect on it later on, if it's the right choice, if it's the wrong choice.
Yeah. So like everything in this world is like the desires of the flesh. Do you understand? And it's the lust. Do you understand? It's the lust that we kind of fall in love with. Do you know what I'm saying? What our eyes lustful. Do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes we start to take pride of the world and not start to take pride of what God is trying to give us. Do you understand? To keep close to our structure, to keep close to what He has promised for us, so we can walk perfectly. Do you understand? And we tend to start taking our own desires and going with the wind. Do you understand? When you start going with the wind, do you understand? Like when you see wind outside and it gets heavy, what does it do? It starts to attract dirt. Do you understand? And when the dirt comes, do you understand? And you're walking, bah,
yes,
dirt hits your eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? You can't blow your own eyeballs up.
Like,
you understand? You need someone to blow your eyeballs up.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's just life. Like when we start to go for our own will and our own desire, at the end of the day, do you understand? There's going to be many dirty things that are going to come your way, and sometimes this is why you start to feel kind of emotional in your journey. Do you understand? Because you're not understanding the obstacles that are coming to you. You're not understanding that sometimes in this life that there's some people that will come in your life and their mouth speaks of nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's but because of how much you've decreased within your knowledge and how much you've decreased on understanding yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Someone's voice can move you.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And the thing is, you're not controlling your own footsteps. So no, you're no longer controlling your footsteps. So you're not going to go in a straight path.
Yeah,
do you understand what I'm saying?
It's going to be
you're always going to go left and right, left and right, left and right. You're always going to fall into things that are not beneficial to you.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I feel like? And this is where it creates the pangs of emotion, because you feel like everybody in this world is here to benefit you. The systems gave you a certain way of a structure. Okay, this is life. Do you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to find people to network to kind of they've made you miss the purpose to life. And this is why I told you, God gives us our own unique way. Do you understand? To draw people closer to Him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But instead we use it for our own will. And that's one thing about God, He gives us our own will. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people tend to test themselves quicker than others. Do you know what I'm saying? And some people tend to start to fall quicker than others. Some people's families are way stronger than other people's families. Some people's families have purposes. Some people's families were made out of the evil wills that their mum and dads, do you understand, wanted to take upon themselves. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So their family has no experience of nothing. Some families just live through sexual lust. Some families live through money. Some families live through what? Fighting.
Some families just
fighting evilness. Do you know what I'm saying?
Some families just all they're good for is just partying every single time, throwing parties, but not understanding like
sexual immorality.
Yeah.
Debauchery. Do you know what I'm saying?
Many
Orgies.
things, innit? Many
all of
things.
these stuff there are the things that God tells us not to touch. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the world. The world will push you down until you have to go try to find your happiness.
Yeah.
And the one thing in life that this is when we become vulnerable. Like they tell us, like our parents tell us that. The parents tells me this, that, you know what I'm saying? Once kids are born, you should never love them, because at the end of the day was easy to grab them. Do you understand? Because they're gonna have to go into the world. Do you understand? And they no longer be obeying what thing is. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's easy to snatch them because their brains don't know nothing.
Yeah, still running.
You're always sinful at birth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people may be lucky and be filled with the Spirit, do you know what I'm saying, to walk, but everyone else is going for what life gives them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is why sometimes you may do stuff in life and your mum will be like, rah, why are you moving like a devil? Like, you're not going with a plan of how they're meant to walk. Because everyone has a walking journey and everyone wants to get to this place. But if you're there distracted by what the world gives you, then you're no longer part of their journey.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
It'll be hard for you to reach that destination. You're not even sure like what journey you want to go down. You don't know if you're in the right path of the journey that you want to get to, or if you're on the left or in the right. You can come from
and because of school kind of teaches us to be not to judge people, for everyone's going for their own chapter.
Yeah.
Not understanding that some people have picked their chapters, and everyone in this world has to go through the same system. It does not matter who you are. It tells us that no matter good or bad, everyone will go for the same desires, and that's just the desires of the world. We need to all survive.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So sometimes you never know. People could be like witchcraft. Some people could be like, you understand, for evil deeds. Like, got families that go out to fight people. Some people might have families where, you understand, they like to flirt with boys, and that mum likes to flirt with boys and that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because everyone's just doing their own needs. Do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes we always have to go through new steps, and we have to fit a certain need. So by then our minds have decreased, and it's taking too much stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we can't do this, our brain is like, do you know what I'm saying? It brings frustration into us.
Yeah.
So this is when we start to meet up with new people and try to tag along with people, not understanding the chapter of some people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not understanding the structure of that person. So when you're tagging along with them, you're then automatically falling into their structure. So that's what I'm saying. It's important that when you meet new people, you have to be very mindful of the habits that you pick. Because the more you're with them, you know, like,
the more you affect yourself.
The more traits you're picking up.
Yeah.
You're coming from. If you're with someone that, you know, that's not motivated, that doesn't have.
Sometimes he's immune to that.
Exactly, that's not positive.
Yeah.
Bro, the more time you're around them, you're not going to be positive as well, because you're picking up what they're feeding you.
Yeah.
So it's important that you just got to be very careful of the energy that people give to you. Is it the right energy? If it's the wrong energy, you're gonna start picking it up. If it's the good energy, I guess you learn from it. So you're coming from the end of the day in life, we live and learn. We learn from people.
Yeah.
You need to be wise and think of what things do you want to learn from your friends. You're coming from.
Like, at the end of the day, the Spirit brings peace, joy. You understand?
Yeah.
It brings us understanding, but we push closer to the world, so the world brings us what the flesh desires. So it's the opposite to that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand, some people are immune to that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I say this to everyone. Everyone is one step away from crazy. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't take long for someone to, because you're thinking of so much things, you've got so much pressure on your head. It doesn't take long for someone to jug you and push your head to the wrong place, to get in the mode where, you know, when people start to feel dark inside, it's because your spirit's so low. Do you understand? You've pushed away from God's will, that you're far from Him. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're no longer close to Him. You understand? You broke the kingdom within inside of you. That's meant to give you joy, and do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To give you the right thing. So some people are immune to this. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when they're doing bad, it's them. Do you understand? But it might not be for you. Do you understand? You might fumble and fall, and it may hurt you. Do you understand what I'm saying? When people start to say, "Oh, you weren't built for this," it doesn't mean that. Do you understand? You got to see that. When you start to go for your own will, you understand, you're creating your own sins. Some people love to do that. Do you understand? It may not be for you. Do you understand? It doesn't mean if you're strong or weak.
Yeah, some people are so used to it. They've adapted to it.
They've adapted to it.
They're used to being bad and coming from. But you might want to try and be bad as well, and might want to, be like them. But it's not for you.
Maybe it's not. You're trying to be bad. It's just maybe that you thought this was your chapter of life. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's clearly not, innit? It's
clearly not.
You get me? Everyone's got a different chapter in it.
And this is where we get to, because we get into high school, we start to see people with different chapters. There's some kids that are bad and try to come test you, and now you feel kind of insecure within yourself.
And then when you feel insecure now, and then you're meeting the people that that are kind of bad,
you're trying to pick up new strategies.
Yeah, trying to pick new strategies. Yeah, you wanna kind of be like them. You wanna
not understanding what you're taking in for yourself.
Exactly. That's why I feel like high school. I feel like high school is the most important in a sense where it's a transition, because it's like. You've left.
It's a bad transition.
You've left. No, sometimes it can be a good transition. Sometimes it can be bad. It depends on the person. But I mean that in a sense where you've left primary school now. You're going into high school. So when you're going into high school, it's a transition. You're trying to understand yourself. You're trying to find yourself. So for others on this journey now, when they have that transition, that can help them to grow into someone better.
No.
But for it's not. No,
it depends.
Do you
want to say why I disagree?
Why do you disagree?
Because at the end of the day, you're trying to become better. Do you understand?
It's growth.
But in an environment,
yeah.
Do you understand? In an environment that you're going to, you're going to take upon your own self, your own will. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
your own will. So what you're going to take on is only you're going to, because you're so at a low level.
Yeah.
You're going to try to reflect them. So now whatever you give, whatever you're taking in, you're going to take it for what they give to you. So you're not going to benefit. You feel like you've grown.
But it
do you understand?
It depends on the
but
environment.
your growth has doubts, because you're no longer going for what the family was. Do you know what I'm saying?
But it depends on the environment that you're on, bro. It depends on the environment that you're in. Not every school you might go to, you might have a bad transition.
Every environment.
It depends. It depends. There's some people that go to secondary school, they have a transition and they're perfectly fine. It depends. End of the day, everyone's different.
Something? It's not about the action. I'm not saying we tend to look at the person of the action of but you become this. It's the thought of the brain.
Yeah, it's the thought of the brain.
The thought of the brain is the most powerless thing.
And there's some.
Do you understand?
Yeah, 100%. And there's some kids that you actually come across, bro, and they're fine. Like their thought of the brain is perfectly fine. They go through that transition where they've actually had a good journey in secondary school, and then you come across some kids.
But it's not for everyone.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. But
because sometimes some people stick to the structure. We don't. Yeah. Not everybody does.
Yeah, not everyone. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It depends on everyone. Everyone's different. It depends on the environment. Do you coming from? It depends on the environment you go to.
Like for example, you see the Muslims.
Yeah.
See the Muslims. Do you know why? Do you know why they're always calm and collective?
Why?
Because they always had a place to be peaceful at. Do you understand? They got time to restore the brain. Why? Everyone's out there taking upon doing some weird stuff and kicking people and doing some dumb stuff. The Muslims took a piece out of the day, prayed to, you understand? They prayed to their God. The time they come back, they were clean and collective, do you understand? For the next hour, so they always had time to breathe and think, do you understand? Day to day, no one was thinking and breathing, bro. Do you understand? It was fun to you. It wasn't beneficial to you. You didn't grow from it because you had way more obstacles to go through.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. What I'm trying to say to you, bro, it depends on the environment as well. Every environment is different. You might go to a school where you're surrounded by good people from the transition for you from primary school to secondary school is good. Then you might go to a school, fam, where you're surrounded by different people, different mindsets. Everyone comes from a different structure. It's like, it's a bit kind of mad. So to me, it depends on the environment. End of the day, different environments feeds on different energy. It's just surroundings as well, you're coming from. To others, it might be a good transition. To others, it might be a bad transition. Like, it also depends.
But anyway, like I was saying, you start to pick up new people who are understanding their chapter, or not understanding that everyone takes on kind of their own will. Some people have started their journey where they want way more stuff than other people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people have gone through bits where now they've treaded on people and now it's come to thoughts, do you know what I'm saying? And their brain starts to fumble, do you understand? It starts going through anxious thoughts. Because when you do bad, you become anxious. Some people take slower, you understand? Some people have better structure than people, so they're good, do you understand? But not understanding this person, that this person can bring you stuff from his chapter, do you understand? And that's where some people feel like, and within this world, we feel like we have to hold on to the people that we grow up with. Not understanding that sometimes we're meant to take this journey alone. You live alone, you die alone. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're not understanding that this journey is by ourselves. Like, we have to understand the purpose that God wants for us. Do you understand? There's no, what God wants for us. What God wants for us. Do you understand? And then whatever He gives to us is what we provide to others to bring people into the light. But instead, we tend to just carry people while we're in the darkness. This guy picks up more new habits. Do you understand? You love him. You're only going to damage yourself inside. Do you understand what I'm saying? People tend to later on, you start to grow. Do you understand? Now you're getting into your opportunities. Some people may be slower than you in this bit. Some people may not get the opportunities that you want. Some people can sometimes see that you're a leader and they're not a leader, and it can make them jealous sometimes within this journey of life. Some people may have messed up in life, and it's getting to a point now they're so upset and they don't understand why you're always still happy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it even gets to that point. Understand? We start to realize that starts making this, when it's a trait, when it starts to become jealousy. Try to run for what you got. Do you understand? And some people tend to forget that what you've got is for your house. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's to provide for your house. It's the skills for your house. It's skills for yourself to keep going. Do you understand? And some people feel like, you know what? Everyone is the same and everyone's equal. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's not that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is what sometimes people fail to understand, that, yo, I gotta get home to my family. Do you understand? People want to grind more for the future. One thing I tell you in this life, that you will never know the future. Do you understand? You can never get back the past. If you plan for the future, it can only lead to a sinful matter. Do you understand what I'm saying? And some people might want money. Do you understand?
Sometimes you
can plan. It's good.
You can plan for the future, but at the end of the day, it's not
under your will. Like,
it's God's plans, in it. God knows what chapter He's got planned for everyone.
That's what I'm saying. So, if you're not putting it under His will, do you know what I'm saying?
It's just a bit kind of hard. You can plan. I can plan now and say in a couple of years, you know, I might want to move away, or whatever. But if God feels like, nah, that's not my time, then obviously I have to go according to His will, and He's
God willing.
Exactly. He's got my chapter. He's got my chapter all sorted out. Jim, coming from the same way through this pandemic. Obviously, people had plans. People wanted to do this. People wanted to do that. But you sit down and you realize, like things didn't go according to plan. I'm pretty sure a lot of people wanted to travel this year. People can't travel. Why? Because due to the pandemic. So it just shows you that sometimes
nothing's under your will.
Yeah, it's everything that we have planned doesn't go according to plan.
Do you know what I'm saying? For example, like, okay, yo, I want $5,000 by the end of the month. On your will, do you understand? It can only lead to a sinful matter. How the heck are you gonna get $5,000 at the end of the month?
You might have to do something. You might have to do something crazy to get that $5,000.
Or you have to shake hands with someone. This guy might have a way of life, and his way of life is not good. You're just making yourself dirty. Exactly. You're trying to get to the yeses too quickly.
Exactly. You're trying to get to the yeses, and you're trying to get to that easy route.
You're
trying to get to that easy route. You just want it now. You're not thinking of the future. You're not thinking of, you know what? Maybe when I get paid, maybe in 3 months, maybe I could save $5,000 dead. No, you want it now.
Now, everything now. You want girls now. You understand? If you plan for the future with a girl and you tell a girl something, the brain's only going to think for the future. Okay, straight away, how am I going to get to this? She's going to start to pressure you. Do you understand? It's going to lead to sex quickly. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's like you've planned something ahead, the brain's full ahead.
It's just pressure. You're just getting pressure. Someone just...
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do that. Get me.
It's your will. Your will can only lead to a sinful matter. Do you understand? What else is there?
Marriage. It makes me feel like you're getting pressure to get married.
Yeah, that's the partner thing.
Yeah, partner
thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? You tend to push quicker than you're meant to think. Also, even bumping into all of this stuff, you bump into people, and you gotta understand that there's no such thing as being strong. Do you understand? It's either you fear something, or you've gone into a part when it gets into evil minds. This is where you start to bump into people where it's how some people die in situations. Do you understand?
Yeah. Because
some people are so eager to get some stuff, understand, and not understand for what it brings to other people around them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes that person may be bad and the other person just love his friends. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And he's trying to fulfill his will. And this is how we lose people. You understand? That's why they say good people die young, and some people, bad people, take a bit longer, because they got to understand that. They got to understand at the end of the day that God gives them a chance to ask for forgiveness for what they give to other people.
Like you said as well, sometimes it's surroundings, the people that you surround yourself by. If you surround yourself by bad people, that's when you get caught up in their mix-up. But if you surround yourself by good people, good people that have the right mindset, they distance themselves from bad situations. So surroundings is also important. And coming from, it's just really important. You can't be surrounded. If you feel like the people you're surrounded by are negative people, bad people, they're not really in the right track. You have to move away from them. You have to pull away from them, because sometimes it will bring you back to where coming from.
And this is what I'm talking about, the performance from home. Because you start to get home now and you can't play your role.
Yeah, you can't play your role.
You start to it's everything is for you now. Do you
Yeah.
understand? You forget that. You forget for everyone around you. Now you start to treat everyone different. You start to give everyone wrong things.
Yeah.
You start to give everyone not the right things in life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You don't
you're
know-
you're head lost. You're so low that you're so head lost.
You don't know what's right anymore. You don't know what's right. You're coming from all you're used to now is the wrong things. You don't know what's right. You can't feed the right things to your family. Your family doesn't. If your family come up to you and they need some advice or they need some guidance, you don't
Wrong
know.
advice.
You don't know what to give them because you don't know what's right anymore. You've been so used to being surrounded by the wrong people giving you the wrong advice. You lose track of what you need to do.
And sometimes you have so much pressure in the world that you run away from what you're meant to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes your purpose is to make the family whole again. Do you understand? Because everyone's fell off. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to be the reminder, you have to be the reflector. Sometimes in life that, do you understand? Sometimes in life that all of this happen and people tend to run away from it. It's like it's too much pressure.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's because you didn't have time to breathe. You didn't have time to give thanks to God. You didn't have time to understand yourself. You didn't have time to do all of these things here. Do you understand? Sometimes you got to understand that, like I told you, some mums have gone out the world without understanding stuff. Some people, fair enough, some people live in chapters where they've woken up in chapters and their family structure's poor. Some people have gone into the world and don't really understand it. You know what? They said, you know what, let me just make a kid to make me happy. You understand? They're not using God to be happy. So let me make a kid to make me
And
happy.
once you do that now, it's like you don't even know the right structure, so you find it hard to even build a structure at home because it's like you wanted to have a kid basically for the wrong reasons because you just feel like you wanted happiness there and then, but it's like your kids are growing up now. What
And they're going
structure-
into the world.
They're going into the world. So what structure am I going to give my kids?
They can't give
You don't
nothing.
even know. You don't even know.
But even though
what's
you
the right
ain't
structure.
got nothing, do you understand? To keep you happy. So you got to understand sometimes in life that when people they are looking at people's kids or people are killing people's kids, you got to understand that, some people don't understand death like that. Some people don't understand that sometimes it's better because the world only gets worse. The world only gets worse.
And you have to
Sorry,
also
yeah.
understand as well, if you take that person out of their family, if you kill that person, you take that family, you take that person away.
Missing gap.
Missing gap. It's going to be hard to fill that gap because that person was only good when it comes to that role specifically. You're coming from. Maybe the other siblings might find it they might find it hard, pressure. They might not even know how to fill that gap. You're coming from.
That's how some people say it. I say people like you're one step away from crazy.
Exactly. So when you take that person now, you have to reflect and think, wow, what did I get out of this? You're coming from. Now you've left a gap in the family. So it's we have to understand that everyone has a role to play in a family. You're coming from. For you to make a family whole, you need to make sure, like you said, team effort. We all have to work as a team. We have to split all the roles between everyone. You're coming from. And it's important. You have to also make sure as well that you put God in the center as well, because that's really important. Because in today, we walk out, we meet up with so much people. We don't know their family structure. We don't know what they do behind doors. We don't know nothing. Someone can come to you, like you always say. Someone can come to you and shake your hand. What you saying for a long time? You're part of their chapter again. You're thinking, shit. What you saying, my bro? A long time, like that little handshake, bro. You're back in their chapter. You come from. They might start messaging again. What you saying, my bro? Link up. You go to a motive or something, and man, this happens. That's why you see a lot of innocent people pass away because of things like that. You're coming from. You're bringing people from the past back into your present.
You're bringing people, yeah.
Honestly, bro.
And technically, you only I can tell you this for a fact. You only meet people for like maximally 2 to 3 hours a day. Do you understand? You don't sit with them for the whole year like your family. You don't sit with them. Do you understand? As soon as you leave the door, you gotta understand that we've got so much things in life now. Social media, all of this stuff, everything connects so quickly to everything.
Bro,
look how much friends, like you found one friend might talk good about you. You understand? Next thing he starts, now everyone's looking at you.
Yeah,
Do you understand? Want to get to know you.
Everyone's looking, oh my days, I'm hearing like, whoa, you're a good friend. What you say? Like, link up, let's go to motive.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They're using you for that precise moment. So sometimes you pick up a lot of people without even understanding social media as well. Like you start to fall into, your eyes start to lust for a lot of stuff. Do you understand? Girls and that, all of that stuff. So you're picking up like, next thing, boom, 20 people. After that, you want to do this, you want to make money. Do you understand? There's so much people to make money, but you're not understanding their chapter. Boom, 30 people. Look how much people you're bringing into your life without understanding yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why I say it's so easy to fool. You understand? You shouldn't be chasing nothing. You understand? You should give your day first. You understand? To understand for what God's trying to give you, because you're going to take all of this stuff, and this is why you feel like you're fumbling in life. This is why you can't play the role of your family. Do you understand? Because I promise you, if you thought about everything that you've picked up in this world, do you understand? Of these worldly things, and you took it off yourself, I promise you, you'll always end up in the first position. Do you understand? And that's back into family. So you should never doubt your position. Do you understand? And sometimes when you start to understand your purpose and you start to give your life to God, you understand the first thing is family. Do you understand? It doesn't matter where you go.
Regardless.
Fair enough. Even if you had kids.
Yeah.
Where'd you go back to?
Family. Listen, regardless of how
far you run.
Regardless of how far you can run across the road. Listen, family. Family's always going to come first. Your family is always going to be the one that's always going to be there for you, regardless. You can come from. Even if you fall, your family's going to be there. Your friends will be the first one to run away when they see you fall.
They don't know how to use you.
Exactly.
It's the part of the world.
When they see you at your lowest point, they're not going to be there no more. They're going to go. Do you come from? But your family always going to be there. So you guys have to just remind yourself every single time that family come first. You come from. End of the day, you've got a family. You might have the best relationship with them. It gets like it's life, but you have a structure to continue. You come from. You have a family. You're a role model to your family.
You're the light to the other person.
100%.
You're the reflection to the other person.
Yeah. Whatever you reflect on, your family are going to pick on it. You come from you. So it's important you have to make sure you do a good reflection, so people can learn good things from it, not bad things. So it's important.
Like we say, like when you're guessing, you can only not understand. You can't feel, but when you start to feel desire, when you start to feel. You understand? When you start to feel yourself with what God wants you to have, do you understand? You understand? You start to feel what the Spirit gives. Do you understand? You understand people. You start to feel understand. You understand? You start to feel what a person. You understand what you can do, but you understand your friends. The world is the world. Do you understand? God told you the world is evil. I'm not in this world. So whatever you pick up is whatever you pick up. So you got to understand your structure. You have a structure to you to see, to hear, to understand people who you're picking up. You understand? You got to you got to say in my chapter when my cousin comes in my chapter, he understands my chapter. Yo, this is what I do. You understand? He sits with me for what I do. Do you understand what I'm saying? I give him good, he gives him good, he goes on his way. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's how it should be. You understand? You should look at someone for their chapter. What do they give to you? Is it good? Good? You go on your way. If you can't do that, wait patiently. Sit with God for a bit. God will give you someone. Do you understand? You can do that with.
100%.
But don't run there and knock yourself over and then find people. You can die at any moment, bro. Do you understand? When it's not your will, you can die at any moment. People can mess you up any moment. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you go crazy, you're not crazy. You understand? Your spiritual is a bit too low. You need to pick it back up. If there's no one there to pick you up,
it's going to be very hard. But if you put God in the center, He will pick you up. Do you coming from? So it's just it's surrounding sometimes play a big part, man. I'm telling you, man. The people you surround yourself by plays a massive reflection where you come from. So you have to always be mindful of who you surround yourself with. If those people you surround yourself with are bad energy, you gotta go. Dash them in the bin. You have to go. You could have known him from years. Yeah, I've known this guy since nursery, bro. I don't care if I've known you since nursery.
Yeah.
If you're bad energy,
cousin, you could be. You could be anything, bro.
We have to.
Hey, yo, you know this guy, innit? No, that's my guy. Nah, bro. Listen, understand the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, some people close themselves with these desires, and they're never gonna come out of it. When you start to do good, it starts to irritate their body. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you gotta understand that not everybody, people out here, that the devil's not only the devil, you understand? The devil uses people that are low.
Yeah,
you understand, to touch them. Do you know what I'm saying? So you always got understand the journey is for you first. You understand? Then afterwards you give to other people. Do you understand? But always focus on you first. You before anything. Don't have the feel to make someone feel good. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whatever comes out your mouth and you do good will make someone feel good. So understand? So there's no pressure. But you understand? But this topic was about why, you understand, tread on people and not understanding. So we had a good conversation.
We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you're gonna learn from it. You know, it's important. You can come from. It's important to just
understand as well.
Understand.
Give yourself the best ability so you might not tread on other people. You understand? Don't be too quick to feel your desires, because you're gonna give someone the wrong chapter. Whether it's friends, girlfriends, family, whatever it is, at the end of the day, you understand? You always want to be at your best self to give the person the best reflection. Also, you're going to run too quick. Also, you're going to give someone the wrong chapter. Someone might die. Someone might not be able to play the role of their family. It all happens to this bit. So you understand yourself, and understand that people have got to go home. You understand? People have got to give their best effort. 100%. Whether it's a wife, a girlfriend, a friend, whatever, everyone's got to go home. So make sure that they're always good. You understand? Don't tread on them. Or don't give them nothing that could tread on it.
100%, man. You have to remember, like, they have an important part to play as well back home, etc. So you just got to be mindful of watch, like, maybe the actions, the advice that I'm giving, is it gonna make me tread on someone? Do you coming from? You have to make sure that what you're feeding to people is good. The advice you're giving is good. Do you coming from? It's important, man. So we hope you liked this. Get me? We hope you enjoyed this.
Make sure you comment, Make sure you subscribe. Listen, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, trust me, man. Subscribe.
And the like
subscribe.
button, please.
Comment as well. Comment as well.
Please. We've been saying this how many times? Do you know how much times we've done this 3 times and the video disappeared on us 3 times? You understand what I'm saying? So make sure you smash that like button, make sure you smash that comment button, but also in this, make sure you go tell a friend to tell a friend.
100%. That's it, man.
You understand? Make sure, I hope that your life turn. You understand? I hope that you stand firm, and I hope that you don't
burn.
And that's the word of the code.
That's it.
That's it, man. God
Yeah,
bless you. We'll see you soon, and we out.